Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. It is February 16. So, we got a lot to go over today. We're going to start off real quick with the weather that's been happening yesterday and today. So, we got this powerful cold front that is moving through the southern US, and it has been producing a lot of winds with wind gusts up to 55 to 70 mile per hour. And then there's a lot of rain too that's been creating flash flood emergencies for West Virginia and Virginia. So you can kind of see here with all the rain that's happening in West Virginia and Virginia. So it's been triggering like flash flood emergencies, and yeah, it's been pretty bad up there for them. And then there's like a couple severe weather events. It was gonna be more tornadoes during the night, but then the cold front kind of caught up to the storms and kind of undercut the storms, so that kind of cut down on the tornadoes. And then, of course, we got the cold front pushing through North Carolina. That's giving us 50 mile per hour wind gusts across the state. So, as you can see, then there has been like a widespread wind warnings for the East Coast, high wind warning for further up north, and wind advisory for North Carolina and South Carolina. So it's been quite wild today. And then we got like the wind reports that are coming in. And I'm about to call one into National Weather Service office here in Raleigh because I saw a couple trees that has fallen down in my area. So I need to report those after this video to add onto this map. But yeah, that should give you an idea. It's been pretty windy today, but hopefully nothing too damaging. So we're gonna go straight to what you guys are here for, and that's to talk about the midweek weather events. As you can see, we have like a very colorful map here. So I'm gonna, start explaining what's happening here. So why I was bringing up the wind stuff was because I'm trying to figure out what's the right marker for this. All right, because we got the cold front that's coming through here, right? That's gonna bring in the cold air that's coming in from behind, right? So that's gonna be a very important player for our next event that's coming up. So we're gonna move on, and then the cold air is starting to bleed in slowly, and then like we got this massive cold air sources here right above the southern U.S. and more up into eastern Midwest. Really, the whole Midwest. We got the high pressure system moving into the country from Canada, and that's gonna be like bringing in all the cold air ahead of the moisture here. And then we got our low system here coming in, and we're gonna see what happens when you get that little cold air ahead of a storm. You see this? We got like our cold air sources right here, and it's kind of interacting with the moisture that's coming off from the Gulf, right? And then because you're kind of like blending in the moisture with the cold, right? So that this is for morning, Wednesday morning that's coming in, and then the very next frame it's gonna clash up over North Carolina, right? And then we got this pretty major events that's happening over North Carolina here. So yeah, there's a lot happening here. We got areas that are kind of like staying mostly snow here. Well, I didn't draw it very well here. And then we got the area that's gonna have a lot of missing issues here over central North Carolina along the Interstate 85. And then we got people there sustain or rain over southern North Carolina and most of South Carolina really at this point. So now we know we're starting to feel pretty confident that some kind of winter weather event's gonna happen in North Carolina for Wednesday at this point. So this is gonna start Wednesday morning and it's gonna, start bleeding into midday Wednesday into the even hours. So the big question here is, what's the missing zones gonna look like? Is it gonna be more snow, more rain, more freezing rain, more sleet? So, actually, I'm gonna say something here. The darker purple that you're seeing here is actually sleet. So, because the atmosphere had a pretty deep cold air layer, so that's even with the little warm air above, you're gonna have it's not big enough of a warm air layer to melt it all the way to rain, so it's gonna fall as sleet. In this case, in this solution anyway, this is shit one solution, but it's still a little bit early to be storing out the details right now. But I want to give you all the big picture. There's gonna be snow. There's gonna be snow for Northwest North Carolina at this point. I feel pretty sure now. And I also feel sure about the rain along the coastline here. Maybe a little bit freezing rain. But the bigger question is this whole area along the Interstate 85 and from Charlotte to Richmond here. So 85 goes up right here. So that's why I'm calling it the 85 coordinator. So yeah, that's the big question here. How much of this is gonna be freezing rain? How much of this is gonna be rain? How much of this is gonna be snow? I'm gonna talk more about this. So the European computer models kind of showing the same idea here, and I'm gonna zoom them a little bit more here, so it's easier to see the counties. So same idea here, but it's a little bit higher with the missing zone. So the missing zone's a little bit higher here. And somebody in that area is gonna get about half inch of ice, which is pretty devastating. Honestly, that's a lot of ice. So you kind of want to be rooting against the solution if you're along the 85, and especially to the southeast of 85, because that's a pretty damaging ice storm. That's these computer models are suggesting. But again, this is still a little bit early for the details. What we're trying to figure out is how much of this, where the rain and snow line's gonna end up. How is it gonna end up a little bit toward the southeast? Or is it going toward the northwest here? Like we always talk about, there's always the shifting, especially inside 72 hours, that we have to be watching out for. So the big picture's there. It's the smaller details that we're still trying to figure out at this moment. But right now, lately, the trends have been colder. So this has been threading toward the southeast for now. So it's kind of bringing Durham and the airport at Raleigh, the RDU, more in the snow zone, and especially Greensboro. They're getting closer to staying all snow now. But Charlotte and Raleigh, the metro areas of Raleigh and Charlotte, are still kind of that missing zone between sleet, snow, and freezing rain. So for now, you have to ask me what I think it's most likely gonna happen. It would be something like this. What I think is mostly what's gonna happen, because I think it's gonna shift more to the southeast And then I think it's gonna counter shift back to northwest. But I could be wrong. It would get more snow that way. So what I'm talking about is things are threatening a little bit colder with the higher up in the air, ahead of a storm. So this is actually ahead of a storm. And I'm getting my marker now. So the low pressure will be somewhere here at this point. And we get the cold air to push them a little bit deeper. It's gonna push the freezing rain a little bit farther south. Instead, being something like right here, it'll be a little bit closer to right here. I know it's the small details. It's these tiny details, but it matters a lot. It matters a lot. So, another thing to talk about is this is kind of becoming a late bloomer storm. Sorry, can't really express that very well there. But, so what's important there is, this is what we call the jet streak. It is the generator of our weather on Earth that generates storms on Earth. And with the jet streak, like we literally learn a whole class or two about how the weather is interacting with the jet streaks. We call it the snot bit weather. So the snot bit is pretty good for the storm to kind of blow up late in the game. So this is the right entrance region of a jet streak, and it's good for providing more rising air as the low pressure come into the area. So what's happening here is the low pressure is gonna come here, and it's gonna start interacting with the jet streak. So it's gonna become stronger as it goes along the coastline. And because of it, it's gonna dump a lot of snow here. In that little area to northeast North Carolina and southeast Virginia. We're talking about 6 to 12 inches of snow right here. So, we're getting pretty close to having a pretty major snowstorm. Especially in Wake County here in North Carolina. Because this factor, it's probably a little bit too late for Charlotte or Western North Carolina get into the action, but because of this dynamics, we're talking about a storm that's gonna blow up pretty late, and it's gonna dump a lot of snow in that little area I'm talking about here. And then we also have the frontaginous, or I'm just gonna call it FGN. So FGN is basically a source of lifting in these storms, and it's gonna enhance the snow amounts locally, or it's gonna help overcome the missing line area, where it's gonna end up more snow than freezing rain for smaller areas. So that's something we have to keep an eye on as we get closer to these smaller details like that. So, but yeah, whoever's under that area is gonna get really nice snow tools. Anyway, as I kind of zoom in a little bit, this is the layer 0. Like, this is the layer 0 that came out, like, literally 30 minutes ago. And it's showing that the missing line is a little bit farther southeast. It's kind of running slowly, very slowly to the southeast. And that's gonna give a lot of snow along that little area here. From Durham to Virginia Beach. And again, here is about 6 to 12 inches. So that's probably like the solution that we want to be rooting for at your Raleigh and Durham area. But this is also the solution that you do not want to be rooting for at your Fayetteville or Greenville, North Carolina. Because again, somebody's gonna get a lot of ice out of this. This is still about ½ inch of ice, so that's pretty damaging ice storm. If somebody get that ice storm, it's gonna be pretty bad. But I don't think there's any avoiding the ice storm somewhere in the state. You have to be at this point. You're gonna have to be hoping for things to be more snowy for the solutions. So this is the Euro. This is like the Euro from the last 5 runs. I believe this is the last 5 runs of the Euro. You can kind of see the shifting that this is kind of becoming more of a northeast North Carolina storm and southeast Virginia snowstorm. So that's the shift toward it, because the storm is interacting with the jet street a little bit later, but it's also, the jet streets also become stronger. So yeah, this is, if I'm living in southeast Virginia and northeast North Carolina, I would be feeling good about nice snow events. Oh yeah, you can see how sharp, like really how sharp the missing line is. Like this is the difference between a nasty ice storm and 6 to 12 inches of snow. Like literally, you go like 20 miles. You're driving like 20, 40 miles. You're going from a nasty ice storm to almost 6 inches of snow, 6 to 12 inches of snow. So it's very, very tight gradient. It's gonna be coming up for North Carolina. And most likely, what I think is gonna happen is, I think this area, this missing area, is gonna shift back up a little bit to the northwest at the last minute with the better sampling of warm air aloft. So I think the warm air aloft is gonna be pushing them and pushing that freezing rain, snow, rain line a little bit back toward the northwest at the last minute. So I do think this is about what we're gonna end up finding with the freezing line here. Again, we still have 3 more days to figure out the details. But yeah, as I was saying, it's kind of starting to tie up that we're gonna get more of the snow events toward northeast North Carolina and southeast Virginia. So yeah, I already made my point with this. But yeah, we are gonna go show you the computer assembly real quick here, because I think this is drawing a good picture of the uncertainty. So what this is telling me is things are, oh gee, I don't like that thickness. What it's telling me is, at this point, if you're living like in this little area here, you should feel pretty good about snow. And unfortunately, if you're living over Charlotte to somewhere like Johnson County here, you're probably pretty high chance of freezing rain at this point. And somewhat a damaging ice storm at this point. But there's lower confidence with the missing line area that we have between these two. So that's why the colors here are a little bit lighter, because there's less confidence. So I thought this is showing a good idea of what's the confidence levels like right now. And this is the last picture I have to show y'all. Is this picture from the Weather Prediction Center in DC area. So I posted this on Facebook a couple days ago, and since then the odds are improving that, you know, along here you got 50-50 chance of getting at least 2 inches of snow and sleet. So we got like 0.25 inch of liquid. So we're gonna talk about snow ratio real quick. You got like 2.5 inch of liquid, and the snow ratio is usually about 10 to 1. So you put the ratio 10 to 1 and put it with 2.25 inch of liquid. You're talking about 2.5 inch of snow and sleet. So that's what this map is talking about. What's the chances? What are the chances that my area is going to get 2.5 inch of snow and sleet? So right now, it's 50-50 for, like, northern half of North Carolina. It's 50-50. And then you got, like, 70% chance for the border counties of North Carolina and Virginia. So right to the north of Raleigh, it's 70% chance that you're going to see at least 2 inches of snow and sleet. So yeah. Hopefully that explained things a little bit better. But I know this video is kind of long and I get a lot of rambling. But hopefully it's helpful for me to lay out all my little thoughts onto the table for yours to see and understand why there's still a little bit uncertainties with their smaller details. But I think the bigger picture are kind of forming. The bigger picture are forming that there are going to be a winter events this Wednesday, during the midday Wednesday into the Wednesday evenings. So yeah, that's all I have for y'all. Hope you're enjoying that. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Catch y'all later. Have a good one.